Hi folks, Stefan here with a long overdue installment of the Gamer's Companion to Music. This time, well, you can probably guess by the song you're hearing right now what game we'll be talking about today. That's right, it's Sonic Adventure 2. Now I could have picked any Sonic game out there, so why this one? Well, I can almost guarantee that anyone who's played Sonic pretty much knows the theme from Sonic Adventure 2. The music here is so memorable, mostly because it has lyrics, but the music just sticks with you, even 13 years after its release. The game itself was released in North America on June 19th of 2001. A GameCube port called Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was released in February of 2002, and the Xbox Live and PlayStation Network ports appeared in October of 2012. The game is a sequel to the 1998 Sonic Adventure. Couldn't you tell by the name? And it was developed by Sonic Team USA for the 10th anniversary of the Sonic series. The game received generally positive reviews, with an 89% on Metacritic right now and an 83.26 on Game Rankings. The game's story is pretty cool in that you can finally play as some of the characters on the dark side. In fact, you can select the hero story or the dark story. Once you complete both, the sides end up working together to defeat the final evil and prevent the space colony Ark from crashing into Earth. Each side has 3 characters. The heroes boast Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, while the dark side has Shadow, Eggman, and Rouge. This game saw the introductions of Shadow the Hedgehog and Rouge the Bat to the Sonic world. Sonic and Shadow have almost identical playstyles, as do the pairing of Tails and Eggman and of Knuckles and Rouge. Unlike Sonic Adventure, there is no exploratory overworld like Station Square. The levels just carry on in the story progression, and if you go back to the menu or just want to replay a level, the stage select is quite handy. The Chao world also got its own space and was expanded greatly. Some people, including myself at times, still go back and just play the game to level up and customize their Chaos. They are still so damn adorable. The music was composed by a team headed up by Jun Senoue, a longtime writer for the Sonic series. His first Sonic game was Sonic 3, and he has written for most of the Sonic series after that, being a Sega staff composer. He is a founding member of the band Crush 40, closely associated with the Sonic series. The band was originally started as a project band to create music for NASCAR Arcade. Crush 40 actually officially debuted with Live and Learn, the main theme of Sonic Adventure 2. The other composers on the game include Tomoya Otani, Fumie Kumatani, and Kenichi Tokoi, all Sega sound composers. There were many performers in the game, which I will list here on the screen. A few soundtracks were also released. The full soundtrack was released by Marvelous Entertainment in September of 2001. A month earlier in August, the Vocals Edition came out. And in 2011, the 20th anniversary soundtrack was released, featuring some fan-favorite songs from the game. Now that we've gotten some of the game specifics out of the way, let's dive right into the music. Now there are a bunch of different themes in the game. In most instances, a game will have a main theme or a melodic line that is present throughout most of the other tracks in the game, used more as a motif for the rest of the game. This time, the main theme is exactly what it sounds like. A general theme to the game, which includes what could arguably be the lesson the story is trying to teach, and it's called Live and Learn. As you listen to the lyrics, you will start to realize that it's talking about learning from the past, and essentially just don't be afraid of the mistakes you've made. I mean, we've all made some mistakes, right? I'm looking at you, Shadow and Eggman especially. But you learn from them, you fix them, and you move on. It's quite nice, really. Instrumental versions of Live and Learn play through the main menus and select screens, and even some of the later boss fights. The full song is the background of the final boss fight with the vocals included. It's a pretty awesome song just by itself, so just sit back and listen. Now, if you remember back to Sonic Adventure 1, the main theme, Open Your Heart, had some pretty nice guitar riffs to it as well. The composers were 2 for 2 in really creating an awesome backbone musically to both games. So we've discussed now the main theme of the game, but another cool element of the music for the rest of the levels is that each character gets their own independent song or theme. These are all very different from one another, and the music in each character's level conveys the same kind of feeling, mood, or beat that the character's individual song does. I'll address this more as we start to go through each character individually, but it's especially prevalent in the Knuckles and Rouge levels. So playing behind me right now is my absolute favorite of the character-specific themes that I have listed on the screen right here. This one is simply called Eggman, and it's pretty much just a self-centered glorification of the beast that is Dr. Robotnik. See what I mean? The music for Sonic and Shadow is all generally guitar-centered and riff-driven, with the exception of City Escape, in which the vocals take precedence. I'll talk more about that song in a minute. The music is supposed to convey the feeling of both characters being very fast, so the music is generally at a faster tempo, or it incorporates rhythms that convey the sense of being fast. The music from Sonic's Green Forest level is a good example of using those quick rhythms and drum beats to convey this sense. The music in Shadow stages is somewhat darker, and almost drive the beat a little bit harder, with less extraneous embellishment, as evidenced by the Radical Highway music. Now, I just mentioned City Escape in my last thought, and even the most casual observers to the Sonic series would probably recognize it, much more so than the actual song that's the theme of Sonic in this game. Just the line, "rolling around at the speed of sound," has become one with Sonic. It's one of the more quotable lines in game music, if you'd ask me. One of the reasons that I think it's so memorable is that it appears in the very first level. Most people would choose the hero campaign first, I think. You know, the ability to play as Sonic himself. Well, if we assume that to be true, as far as the music goes, this is really the game's first impression on you. So as you're barreling down those steep city streets in City Escape, you hear vocally exactly what you were doing, escaping from the police pursuit and the city. And you are, in fact, rolling around at the speed of sound. Well, let's just assume it's the speed of sound. I ain't seen no Sonic Boom! Anyway, it's just another way to feel immersed in gameplay, and it's so damn catchy and memorable at the same time. Oh, and by the way, you know those lyrics that go, "Trust your feeling, you've got to live and learn." I see what they did there! Get it? Because live and learn is the main theme. As far as the music for Tails and Eggman go, the music generally seems to be more slower paced and more about the level itself. I think that they were trying to convey the area and scenery of the level through the music rather than the idea of the specific character. Tails and Eggman are basically in giant robotic mechs, so the gameplay is much slower. The music does take this into account for the most part. The only one that is really different is the music from Lost Colony. Since the level is about an abandoned space colony, you really get that sense of space and emptiness throughout the level music heard here. Now, onto the two more interesting characters in terms of music. Knuckles and Rouge are both in search of pieces of the Master Emerald. There is no goal in the level like in the Sonic, Shadow, Tails, and Eggman levels other than to collect 3 pieces of the emerald hidden within the level. All of Knuckles' music has some pretty awesome beats and raps associated with them. Each of the raps focuses on the actual level that you're in. For example, the music playing now from Wild Canyon talks about having to chase the bat named Rouge. Pumpkin Hill is all about finding the emeralds in this ghost town, and so on and so forth. You've been listening to Wild Canyon, which has some sexy sax licks, but I also really like the Pumpkin Hill theme, which I'll play for you here a little bit.
You ready? I ain't gonna let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep. Down in Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel.
Knuckles' music just has so much soul and funky beats, I absolutely love it. Rouge's music is also very, very stylized. The music almost feels like it's the background for this smooth, suave spy movie. Oh wait, that's exactly what she is! She's a smooth, suave spy who happens to be a female bat out for all of the world's jewels. The music has a lot of shuffling and jazzy grooves paired with female chorus vocals, horn licks, and vibraphone melodies that really set Rouge's stuff apart from the rest of the characters. You're listening to the music from Security Hall right now, which I like for its sweet trumpet and sax licks, being a trumpet player myself. But another really good one is the music from Dry Lagoon, which features some nice jazzy flute riffs. The music is just so damn groovy. So I mean, as you listen, you can really start to hear the differences in the characters just by the music associated with them. This also happens in the character-specific cutscenes in between levels. There are a few tracks that carry over from some previous Sonic games, namely Sonic Adventure 1. The Invincibility and Running Shoes music remains the same, as does the level clear riff that has stayed in Sonic from the very beginning. What did get a major overhaul was the Chao system. Now the Chao Gardens are integrated much more into the game, and the Chaos reflect that hero and dark element that pervades through the main story. There are 3 Chao Gardens that all share different iterations of the exact same main Chao Garden theme. Playing now is the neutral Chao Garden theme, while the hero and dark gardens both reflect their own personalities. The little fanfare before each of the races is absolutely adorable, and might be my favorite aspect of the music in Chao World. Oh my god, it's so cute. Let's do it. It's so cute. But anyway, the Chao Garden might be one of my favorite aspects of the game itself that I mentioned earlier. An actual AI life system that you can have a big effect on. What a great idea. In a stark contrast from the more classically composed games in the first 2 episodes of the game was companion to music, Sonic Adventure 2 really dives in headfirst to the rock-based soundtrack that gives Sonic life. I mean, you wouldn't imagine a full orchestra playing behind Sonic as he's running through levels and kicking ass. It might be epic, but it just wouldn't feel right. The lyrics of these songs add a lot of depth to the game in my opinion, and if you play it enough, you'll come out singing right along with the rest of us. That'll about do it for this episode of The Gamer's Companion to Music. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Like the series? Make sure to check out episodes 1 and 2 listed here on the screen, and stay tuned for more episodes to come from the ESVLB Gaming YouTube channel.